Hey everyone, so in this video we're going to be talking about whether or not you should pursue an international exchange opportunity at the bachelor's or master's degree level. Now, why do people typically pursue an international exchange opportunity? Well, one of the biggest reasons is it gives them the opportunity to engage with people from different cultures. It might also give them the opportunity to explore parts of the world they might not otherwise see, or parts of the world that they've always wanted to travel to, but just didn't quite have a reason to go there. The nature of an international exchange is typically facilitated by the school in that they have a lot of partnerships with international schools that will help make this a little bit easier for you to pursue. So, attending this office at your specific university will give you a better understanding of what the requirements are for you to participate and whether or not it's something that makes sense for you. If you're pursuing an international exchange for its career prospects, you have to be warned that this isn't necessarily something that you can hold your hopes high for. And so, what I mean by this is there's typically a lot of restrictions in terms of whether or not you can actually work while you're on certain types of visas that you might need in order to study in these regions, and whether or not the other schools will allow you to work, and if so, how many hours per week you'll actually be able to work. With that said, many schools, and this obviously does differ from school to school and country from country, will allow you to utilize some of their career services that already exist on campus. Now, again, even though this might be the case, you might have to make note of whether or not there's any restrictions on employment for people who are coming from your country to work in that specific country that you happen to be in. The other thing as well too is you might have to determine whether or not employers are going to see this as a positive or negative. Regardless, it's going to give you the opportunity to learn more about that specific culture. And so when you come back to your native country, if you happen to work for an international organization that does a lot of business in that specific region, you'll be able to draw from your experiences in a way that other candidates might not. The other benefit in international exchange is that a lot of students will pursue foreign languages, and they'll have the opportunity to not only learn some of the subject matter that relates to their degree, but they'll have the opportunity to embrace some of the local culture and the local languages in a way that will allow them to come back with an additional skill or at least a better understanding of another language, which might also help your employment prospects as well. The international exchange opportunity might be something that's going to be costly for some. However, the nature of the partnerships are typically structured so that you'll pay your relevant tuition fees to your university, while the student from that corresponding university will pay their relevant tuition. And so you're only really having to worry about covering your accommodation and relocation costs for that period of time. However, this does differ from school to school and from country to country. So it's very important for you to clarify all of the costs associated and whether or not there's additional fees and whether or not there's additional tuition that you might be responsible for as well. The other thing to inquire about is bursaries, financial aid, and scholarships for people who are pursuing international exchange opportunities. Some schools will have these available to offset some of the costs associated with international exchange, and so this is something that you should definitely consider as well. Finally, the last thing that you should really consider an international exchange is what you're really looking to get out of the program. Is there something that you particularly want to study that will be much more conducive to your career learning that in that particular country as opposed to your own program at your school? In other words, is the country that you're going to specialize in a particular field of study that you happen to be studying in? Or do you have the intentions of perhaps moving there one day, or living there one day, or working there one day? These might also be things for you to consider as well, and whether or not these programs can help you take a step in that direction as well. The benefits in international exchange are tremendous. You'll meet people from all walks of life, you'll meet people from a bunch of different countries, and you'll really be able to experience different cultures in a way that you might not be able to otherwise. However, you should be aware of the fact that there might not be a whole lot of benefits in terms of your career progression. In other words, having that experience internationally might benefit you in your future roles. However, if you're looking to come out of an international exchange opportunity with a job offer from that specific country, then you really should evaluate whether or not your priorities are where they should be and whether or not that's really what you want to be focusing on. You might actually find that you'll have a better time working in that in that specific country if you pursue it from a distance. And so what I mean by that is perhaps interning at a company that has a very strong presence in that specific country and then transferring to that specific office once you have a certain amount of experience under your belt, as opposed to going to that country and applying as a foreign exchange student, and whether or not there's even restrictions that forbid you from even doing so. These are all things that you should really consider, and you should really do your research in terms of where you want to go and whether or not it's something that's even safe for you to pursue. There's a lot of other things to consider. There's a lot of great resources online as well. And there's a lot of awesome YouTube videos where people are outlining their specific experiences in terms of their international exchange experiences. I encourage you to explore all of those. If you have any specific questions or concerns, definitely leave it in the comment section below. Hopefully the community will add some of their experience as well too. I'd love to hear whether or not you actually pursued an international exchange opportunity, and if so, please leave it in the comment section below. I'd love to hear more about it. Thanks so much again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.